I'm going to show you some CDs. I'll tell you a little bit of story first. If you saw a contest entry I did for Brendan Van D, you might have seen this case. Now this case had these CDs in, and it was like full of like black foam that separated the CDs in the box. And for some reason, I don't know if it's because I left it by the window and the sun was beating down, you know what I'm saying, but after years, decades of this being perfectly fine with no problems, I opened it up the other day and all the blinking foam had completely deteriorated, and it just like, it turned, just a horrible mess basically. None of the CDs are damaged, the cases are all dirty, I need to clean the cases up. I'm not sure if I should just throw this out or try and find some other way of putting the CDs in there. But I thought I'd show you it, and if you see there's like a black cack all over the bloody CDs, it's because the bloody raw foam in there went to pot. Right, here's an old album by Accuser. I went to see them on this tour, I think Reflections. They refused to play any of their old stuff, which was really annoying. I was shouting out for it. And they were like, no, we don't play that stuff anymore. And it was like, oh, for fuck's sake. But, right, Sinister. Diabolical Summoning. Great death metal. These are all sticky with the black foam. I don't know if it's got some kind of oil component in it, but it's kind of got horrible and messy. You can see possibly bits of crap coming off it. I need to come up here with a sponge and give them all a wash down. Creep Mine. It's not a bad album. There's a couple of cool tracks on here, I recall. Mind you, it's been ages since I listened to it, but at the time I quite liked it. This is really cool. This is a split. Constellation and Nembrionic Hammer Death. Possibly the greatest name of a band ever. Nembrionic Hammer Death. And unfortunately, they dropped the Hammer Death from the name and became just Nembrionic. Boring! Should have kept the Hammer Death, guys. Nembrionic Hammer Death. If you'd been called Nembrionic Hammer Death, you'll be playing stadiums by now instead of being split up. But no, they were still a bloody good band, great band, and Constellation, cool band as well. Yeah, from the Netherlands, I believe. Right, Asphyx. Is this The Rack? Yeah, The Rack. Dutch death metal. And these guys, is this Deinonychus? Yeah, Deinonychus. Yeah, Deinonychus. Actually named after a dinosaur. For some reason, I looked at this. I always thought it was the Greek god of blinking, like Bacchus, not Bacchus, the Roman equivalent. But that's not Deinonychus. I can't remember what it is now. What is his name? Dionysius or something like that. But I always thought that was named after him, but it's not. It's Deinonychus, the dinosaur. Right, The Silence of December, kind of like tortured black metal. There's a Christian band. Pandemonium. No, it's not Pandemonium. It's Paramecium. Paramecium. The first album of theirs is absolutely top-notch doom death. It's got a really great long track, which is just immense. It's just awesome. I love it. But this one, nothing really rings any bells on this one. This actually came out alongside a book. I actually got the book. Let me get the book. Sorry about that. So it's Within the Ancient Forest. Came out with a book and a CD. I read the book. Boring as hell. Just like a Christian Jesus kind of analogy kind of stuff. Yeah, not for me. But I read it anyway. But it was quite dull, I thought. Within the Ancient Forest. If you get a chance, pick up their first album. It's really cool. But that one didn't really resonate with me. Right, Atrocity. Hallucinations. It's back in the day when they were death metal. Right, this is a compilation of French bands, I believe. I think, if I remember right, Brutal Generation. Most of it, I think, was a load of cack. I think a lot of it was rubbish. I think you had a couple of... Yeah, Loud Blaster on here. Possibly Aggressor, I can't remember now. Crusher, they were another good French band. Aggressor on here, yeah. So that's probably why I picked it up. But then the other ones on here, Misanthrope, another good band. Merciless, another cool band. Massacre. Yeah, so it's got a few cool bands on there, but a lot of it's nothing to write home about. Protest. I think these are Polish. Could be wrong. Broken Hope, awesome American death metal, swamped in gore. I think that was their first. Retrovor, so Rotravor, Rotravor. I just like saying Rotravor. Horror of Horrors. Sounds of Eerie is the name of that CD. Well, this one's got no cover. I wish I had the cover for it, actually. I picked it up cheap. It's Lemon Project. Pretty cool band, actually, Lemon Project. I'm sure I've got 2 of their albums. But yeah, unfortunately, no bloody cover on that one because it was a freebie. Right, this is cool. Really guttural death metal. I remember we got paid once for doing a gig and I immediately spent the money on a couple of CDs. This is Mangled Torsos, Drawings of the Dead. Really down low vocal styles and that kind of, yeah, great stuff. And this is so sticky with this black goop. I'm sure it must be oil based, this this sponge, because it feels really oily. Messiah from the Underground, is that? No, just called Underground. Messiah, pretty cool. Detest. I think these are Danish. I'm pretty sure these are on the compilation called Fuck You, We're from Denmark, back in the day. Dorval is the name of the album. Funereal, is that? No, just Funeral. Funeral. Death Doom. Funeral. Tragedies is the name of the album. Cyanide. The Dying Truth. Exocet. Confusion is the name of the album. Obituary, Cause of Death. Misanthrope, Totems Taboo. Miracles, Totems Taboo it's called. Really interesting avant-garde kind of, just avant-garde metal really, we call it. French. Swedish death metal Epitaph, really cool album this one. Semen Salvation. Dark Millennium, kind of technical death thrash I suppose, German I believe. That was Ashore, the Celestial Burden. This one, well, this is Belgian black metal band. These guys stayed out of my house for a weekend. They came and played at the club that I used to put on. Yeah, cool guys. They're called Iconoclasm. Now, there's a depiction of a nun. Let's say she's being entertained by a gentleman demon. I'm not sure if he's actually very gentlemanly, but he's definitely male. Oh, well, he has the appendage of a male anyway. So I'll just cover that up for anybody who may be of a timid disposition. Right, Ghost Storm. I think it was Slovakian or something like that. Got a feeling they were Slovakian. That was on Black Mark Productions. Divine Eve, these are a really cool band. Saw these live, I was very happy to see these live a few years back now, but there's some footage of it on my channel if you want to check that out. Divine Eve, really cool stuff. Right, Kraken, or Krochan, I'm not sure how you even pronounce it. I've never known how to pronounce it. I have seen them live once, which is cool. Yeah, good. Also good chats. I know one of the guys from the band used to live in London, used to be in a few bands that we put on at our club. Yeah, it's basically folk. It's kind of thrashy, folky Irish metal. Good stuff. This was their first album, Trafford na Gael. I actually played this when I was DJ. I did some DJing at a Cradle of Filth gig at the Astoria, because the guy who put the gigs on used to do a club called Devil's Church. They used to do Sunday night gigs and we used to do Monday night gigs. And so, yeah, it was always cool. And like he asked us to DJ in between bands at the Astoria for him. And I remember playing a track off this Kraken. And because Primordial were on that bill, we were another Irish black metal band, I think there's a lot of Irish people there. And there was a big jig, big circle pit going on while one of the tracks on this was playing, which I thought was pretty cool. After Death. Can't remember where they're from. I think these might be Belgium, though. Who knows? It could be Portuguese, actually. For some reason, Portugal was ringing a bell all of a sudden. Right, Obituary, World Demise. Edge of Sanity. This is when they started going a bit off. They was a good death metal band, but they sort of brought in a bit too much rocking. Started being a bit death and roll or something. And I think they split up not long afterwards. I don't think they got much material after that one. Not if memory serves me anyway. Desultory, I believe. I've not actually looked at it yet. Yeah, Desultory. Another cool Swedish death metal band. This band, this is quite a cool CD actually. I quite like this CD, but I like the band name even more. It's Demented Ted. Demented Ted. Promises Impure. This was out on Pavement Music. I think that was their only release. I don't remember anything else by them. Right, and finally, I think these are a Australian band. I'm pretty sure Brendan showed it on his channel recently. Allegiance, Destitution. There you go then. That's it. That's that box. I'm going to need to give them a clean. All sticky and covered in black foam. So annoying. Whatever. Anyway, don't forget to check out my competitions. Whatever competitions I've got running at the moment. And I'm not sure if they've even got any competitions running now. They might have run out by now. Who knows? But listen to my podcast. Link down below to my podcast where you can hear all these sort of bands on my show. You know, get an education on some new bands that you've not heard before probably. Anyway, cheers for watching.